All right, welcome back to Steven's Night 1 of WrestleMania 36 review. We did just finish up Night 1. Really, if that's how Night 1's going to be, I think Night 2 is going to be a fun night as well. I was pretty happy with all the results and kind of the way matches unfolded, as it were, for WrestleMania 35 right now. So I've got my notes about what matches I want to talk about. So we're just going to start with Drew Gulak and Cesaro in the kickoff match. Cesaro wins with the airplane spin, the no-handed airplane spin, mind that we had. So I figured that might mean better for Daniel Bryan, but as we saw with the Bryan match, that didn't mean much. So we'll get to that. Then we kind of got into the night. So we started with the Kabuki Warriors going against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I predicted that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross would win, and they did. I think the night was interesting with the no fans because you could really hear a lot more. So I think that was added to the matches, as it were, kind of gave you a little more flair for the matches. You could hear more, especially prevalent during the Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins match. I think that one really was helpful with no crowd because you could kind of hear the smack talk and, the word kind of thrown around that. I joked, I think they had a quota for the B word, as it were. So hopefully, we'll see what tonight brings in that regard. But as far as Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross against Kabuki Warriors, I think it was a very back and forth match. Kept feeling like it could go either way. I did think, like I said, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are probably destined for it. I kind of forgot that they'd already won the titles before, so now they're two-time champions, which is, we'll see how this time goes. Overall, the women's tag team titles, I don't know if they're finding their footing or what, or if they just can't find the time to book them right. So, it's one of those things that hopefully, we can actually see different teams together, maybe like, the tag team division of the men's, there's a lot of different teams engaging with each other. This is mostly, okay, here's our team that won the titles. Here's going to go after them, and then that's it. We don't really get any storyline flavor with it. So I'd like to see a little more with that. Next up, we have Elias and King Corbin. King Corbin wanted to get the count-out victory or the forfeit loss. Elias comes out. Elias picks up the win. Not much to say on this match. I kind of am thinking maybe this means a lot for Elias, but it probably doesn't. I feel like Elias is one of those guys that I kept waiting. Maybe, now we can kind of see more of his personality. Maybe we could see him do more, social media-wise and kind of have at it. But I don't know what this means for King Corbin because, if he gets a win, he keeps moving along. But now it's just kind of, he's just there. So Raw Women's Championship was up next. Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler. I think this is the one that a lot of people are disappointed with. I think the match, it was kind of there. I don't know if they found the footing. This one was hurt by the no crowd. I don't feel like the women, Becky or Shayna, could really feel each other with no crowd. So it's hard for them to get going. Shayna does not pick up the win, as a lot of people were upset. And even I predicted Shayna would win. I just think with, the uncertainty of WWE after Monday, maybe that's why you don't pull the trigger, because you don't know where you're going to go with Shayna. So with Becky, we know what we got in her, and we can keep moving along with that. She can go to the press junkets and the media stuff and do some stuff online. So with Shayna, I don't know if she's got that presence like that. So I think it's okay to wait down the road for Shayna to get the title. Obviously, the pin was kind of a fluky pin, so you're still going to give Shayna the benefit of the doubt. Next up, we did have the Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn, retain against Daniel Bryan. Hard hitting. I think some of those slaps that Daniel Bryan had were quite, legit, as it were. And then, Sami Zayn, showing that he can wrestle. I think it's good that Zayn is finally find something that works for him. He came in against Cena in the U.S. Open title, or U.S. title open challenge, and put on a great night, and then got hurt. And I think, he was still trying to find his footing. Him and Owens obviously did all their stuff in NXT. So now I feel like Sami Zayn has found what works. Him, Nakamura, and Cesaro seem to be gelling together as a, unit, the Artist Collective. I think I'd like to see Daniel Bryan pick up Chad Gable. You know, we had Shorty G. Less said about that, the better. So now, let's give Chad Gable, the real wrestler, you know, the real Olympic guy, with Drew Gulak. They can practice duck walking together. They can practice holding up the, I think they put like a ball underneath their armpit and we're trying to hold that. So I think let that trio kind of work together and see where that could go. Next, I think this was the SmackDown Tag Team titles triple threat. So yes, 3 singles guys going for tag team titles in a ladder match. But this worked for them. John Morrison, I think his best match to date since coming back. Jimmy Uso, or Jay Uso, sorry. Jimmy, whichever one, Jimmy. One of these days I'll get them separated. But yes, Jimmy Uso, and of course Kofi Kingston. I mean, we know what Kofi could do. Funny to see where Kofi went from last year to this year. But, you know, we got what we got out of this triple threat match for the tag team titles. I would have loved to see Jimmy and Kofi each grab one at the same time. And then you could have kept playing. Like, then there's no tag team titles and, you know, champions. And then you kind of keep playing on that. I think the way that you did it was fine, too. You had them punch John Morrison off onto a ladder. He grabbed both at the same time and then fell backwards. I think that plays out as well. I thought Miz, Morrison would retain in some weird fashion, so that works for them. You know, and then we'll probably see these 3 teams go at it again, hopefully next time that we can, you know, get teams together. Next up, like I said, this match, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, I think found its footing after the whole Seth gets himself disqualified. Owens wins. Owens doesn't want that. Then we go into no DQ, which I think this needed a stipulation anyway. I think, you know, if we didn't have Randy Orton and Edge doing last man standing, I think you could have done something like this. So maybe that's why you went no DQ. Just do whatever you want. Owens does the gigantic jump off of the WrestleMania sign. You know, I didn't know if we would see any spots like that, so it was cool to see that type of spot. Glad to see that. Don't know what it means for either guy. You know, I think this could have been an unofficial number 1 contenders match type deal where either guy can move up into there. Hopefully Owens maybe gets it. But, you know, I guess we got to see tonight with Drew and Brock Lesnar. I think, you know, if Drew wins, then obviously Drew isn't losing for a while. So maybe it's in all losing cause for. But going to be interested to see where Kevin Owens goes because of this and where Seth Rollins goes. You know, we didn't see anybody Murphy available. I think now the authors of pain are hurt. So does that just go by the wayside, or does Seth try to get other people? I don't know. So we'll have to see where that goes. We did have Braun Strowman defeat Goldberg to win the Universal title. Trying to remember which one's which at times. So, anything more to say about that? Not really. We had 3 spears by Goldberg. We had 4 power slams by Braun. People joking, it was like, you know, you just were finisher. That's all you did. So nothing really to say about that. I don't think we were going to see anything special out of those 2 right now. Maybe back in the day you could have seen more of a match, but, you know, it is what it is. I think it was interesting, and some people brought this up on Twitter. No mention of Roman at all. So what's up with that? I think Braun is holding it warm for Roman, and then Roman's going to get it down the road. You know, that's just the way it is. Probably SummerSlam if we're back kind of in some sort of normalcy at that time. And finally, here we are at what everybody thought was rather interesting, and I thought myself was fun, cheesy, corny, campy, whatever definition of campy, corny you want to throw out. It worked, though. I think it really did work. The Boneyard match between AJ Styles and The Undertaker. You know, at first we had Undertaker's music playing. The casket rolls out. We're like, oh, that's Undertaker. Nope, it's AJ Styles. He's calling for The Undertaker. Undertaker rolls in on his motorcycle, so he's going the American Badass route. Everybody wanted that. That's fine. We didn't have Rollin', though, by Limp Bizkit, so come on. Had some Metallica song that fit it as well. I think that was interesting as well with the sounds, the song, you know, kind of thematic aspect of it. A lot of people loved it. I loved it. You know, Gallows and Anderson get involved. They take some good bumps. AJ takes some bumps. Interesting that, Taker mentioned this, trio, never really saw anybody else help him. So that was kind of a weird aspect to add. But, I think it worked. I enjoyed it, had a lot of fun with it. And, like I said, it worked for what it was. I think you could have done it even with the crowd. I don't know if you would have done it, though, because you would have probably cut back to the crowds and reactions during some of it. That would have taken away. I think as one full thematic short movie, as it were, I think it really works. So AJ ends up buried alive, his hands showing like this. I think that's a way to write off AJ. AJ Styles has definitely earned time off. Gallows and Anderson, they can do some tag team stuff. Maybe they can get written off as well. Come back sometime in the summer. I think, what does this mean for Undertaker, though? Is it his last ride? He did ride off. I think that's fine because you have the new series coming out in fall-ish or whenever it's going to come off called Undertaker The Last Ride. I think that's going to be so interesting to watch because we don't see that side of Mark, as it were, since we want to throw out the real names there. So I'm really going to be excited to see that and see kind of how it goes. Night 1, that's complete. Looking ahead to night 2. So we have Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, John Cena, Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, in the whole, Firefly Funhouse. We're going to see how that holds up to last night's Boneyard. I think people are going to have high expectations compared to that. So I think they're not going to be as open to it. But I think I'm just going to sit back and watch it and just enjoy it for what it is. We also have Orton and Edge and Randy Orton going at it in Last Man Standing. I think, like I said, those two have a lot to prove. My predictions are all available in the video that I did previously. So feel free to watch that. I'll try to post it up here. We got SmackDown's women's title on the line. Bayley trying to retain against Sasha, against Naomi, against Lacey, against Tamina, and that's it. Yeah, so we'll have those 5 going at it. We will also have Dolph Ziggler and Otis. Like I said, I think this is where Mandy Rose comes in, helps out Otis win. They do a romance angle, and then we're moving on. And we have Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley. Whatever on that. Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits going against Angel Garza and Austin Theory. Kind of funny to think Austin Theory and Angel Garza, just NXT guys like a month or 2 ago, if that. And now they're getting a WrestleMania moment. So, there we go. That's night 2. Look forward to night 2. I think we really split it up well. I think you gave a good variety, a mixture of matches. Last time we had Michael Cole and JBL doing it, and then we had Raw team of Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips. So good to kind of mix up the voices. I think it was a fun night. We'll see how night 2 goes. So feel free to follow me at StephenA1181. Watch my prediction show that I did yesterday on that. And let me know what you think. Talk to you guys later.